Climber. On today's show, we're interviewing a singer-songwriter whose label debut just dropped. We nerd out on songwriting, on social media, and the life of a Christian artist. Her name is Natalie Layne, and you're going to love her. All right, listen up. Johnny, do that thing.
Welcome to the Climb! This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business. This podcast exists because we want you to win, and in order to win, you gotta have leverage. You gotta do it yourself, guys. Don't take that as a bad thing. I mean, the good thing is you don't need anybody's permission. You just figure out how to put all these pieces together. You build an audience, and everybody that you want to work with is going to come out of the woodwork to find you. I promise. Okay. And that's why we created this podcast. And that's why we named it The Climb, C.L.I.M.B, creating leverage in the music business. That's a backronym from my good friend and co-host, Mr. Brent Baxter, who's an award-winning hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady A, Joe Nichols, and more. He's got number ones in Southern Gospel, number ones in Bluegrass, top 10s on Texas radio and Australian radio, and he never stops. But most importantly, he's interested in helping you become a professional songwriter by revealing how you write like a pro, do business like a pro. And this man bends over backwards every quarter to create events where he can introduce you to the pros, to get you heard, to create relationships with people that can help you climb to the next level of your songwriting career. You can find Brent very easily at songwritingpro.com.
And I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They're breaking artists digitally by identifying new fans through data. If you're an artist looking to increase your streams, and you are, blow up your video views, and you are, sell more live show tickets, yeah, you are, and get discovered by new fans, TV, and music industry pros, then Daredevil Production can help. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That is production, singular, and it's singular because there's no other Johnny D. What's up, brother?
Hey, brother. Great interview with her. I love her energy.
Oh, she's a vibe. She's great.
And I love her work ethic.
Yes.
The way that she described how she got to certain places that are important for every artist to have to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool, man. Like, just
grind.
She's a grinder.
That's right. With a smile on her face. So I'm really glad we got to connect with Natalie Layne today. That was the first time getting to talk to her, and hopefully not the last, man. She's fun, and the music's a jam. I've been listening to that this morning, so I think it's going to be a really good episode.
I wasn't aware of her before the interview, so now I'm going to go find some stuff to put into playlist.
There we go.
Playlist,
that's part of our selfish fun of this show is we get to like hang out with new people maybe we didn't already know and listen to new music and all that good stuff. So it's fun.
That's right. Well, listen, before we get all that goodness, let's take care of a little business, guys. We want you to join the Climb community on Facebook. Go to Facebook, search in groups, find the Climb community. You have to ask to join, but we let everybody in as long as you can answer 3 questions. That proves you're not a bot. It's very simple. We don't want jerks in there. And this is all your peers, singers, songwriters, indie musicians, indie artists, everybody trying to make a living doing what they were born to do. And it's a thriving community. We love on each other. We support each other. And we shout it from the treetops. Every Monday, we want to hear about your new music. Post it as a comment in the New Music Monday post. Every Thursday, we want to hear about your gigs. Post it as a gig alert in the gig alert post. Post it as a comment, in the gig alert post. And every Wednesday, we want to hear about your wins. What have you done? What did you do this week you're proud of, man? We want to hear about that so we can praise you. Post that as a comment in the New Heights post every Wednesday. And on these ones, we share them on the pod as well. So, Brent, what do we got? Shower some love on these people.
That's right. Climber. Cesar Santiago says, I just finished a song that I haven't shared with anyone that I'm absolutely in love with. Great feeling as a writer to be super stoked about one of my babies. So that is awesome. See, that is a That is a great feeling. We know that
Caesar,
feeling.
that just makes it, you can't smack the smile off my face when I hear that, man.
Oh yeah, it's that feeling never gets old, right? That's always a great feeling. So that's awesome. Climber Lori Lotz says, just got the mixes for my first bluegrass song. We'll be singing a live performance with the instrumental and harmony vocals mix in the Tennessee Songwriters Contest at the end of the month. So good luck, Lori. By the time this airs, that's already happened. So congratulations. We're just assuming you win. Congratulations. That's awesome. So Caesar, Lori, congrats. Keep on climbing.
There you go. Keep on climbing. Caesar, Lori. Yeah, good job, guys. So make sure you follow the podcast wherever you consume podcasts. Check us out on YouTube if you haven't been there yet. And most importantly, tell a friend about it. All right. If we're imparting information that you find valuable, that's why you're spending time with us. Maybe we can help some of your musician friends, maybe even a rival band. Turn them on to us. We promise not to tell them too much. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But let's get right into this, man. We had what a great interview with Natalie Layne.
Today on the podcast, we're joined by the incredibly talented, soul-inspired pop singer, songwriter, worship leader, and producer who just radiates joy through her music. Yes, a classically trained pianist with a signature blend of jazz, funk, and pop. She has toured with artists like Chris Tomlin, Jeremy Camp, and We the Kingdom. She's also headlined full band sets at Bonnaroo twice and was named a Pandora Artist to Watch. With her Centricity music debut album, All Joy, set to drop on February 21st, I believe. Our guest is here to share some insights about songwriting, the business of being a Christian artist, and how she stays grounded in her faith while creating music that inspires. So heads up, we're talking about that today. Natalie Layne, welcome to The Climb.
Wow,
Welcome.
That was a solid intro.
Thank you.
Great podcaster voice. Oh, you're hitting all the marks. It was there.
All right. We've done these for a bit. That's the only time I'm allowed to be around a microphone. I'm a lyricist otherwise.
Nice.
My only mic time.
Hey,
Generally,
they
the
give you
rule
mics.
is to keep him away from a microphone.
Exactly.
That's so funny. I love
Thanks
that.
for being here.
Oh, I'm so stoked to be here. We can nerd out about music stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. And
This
we were
is their
talking.
mothership.
We were talking before we hit the red button about a mutual friend of ours, Jeff Pardo, who you worked with on this record and other stuff. And so I reached out to Jeff, and I want to make sure I get this question in. So I'm like, Jeff, we're having Natalie on the show. Anything you want to ask her?
Oh my gosh.
So I want to make sure we get this.
For context, he's crazy. So I don't know what this is about to be.
I mean, it seemed like a very innocuous question on the front end, but we'll see.
Okay.
He says, I'd love to know who her favorite piano player is.
Oh, that's nice.
It's
Thanks,
a nice
Jeff.
one.
That's nice. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Jeff. You just never know. Like it could be like a hidden bomb in there or something.
Well, she was clearly fearful.
She was.
Well, we have so much fun in the studio. This last song I wrote with him and Matthew West, and the two of them are also like best buds. And so I think we just speak the language of sarcasm is really what I think it is. And so it becomes that. But that's a nice question.
Is there another kind?
No, not to us. Maybe I don't know. My favorite piano player. I mean, I feel like I have favorite piano players in all different spheres. Like I love Michael W. Smith in Christian music.
Yeah.
I love Billy Joel in there's kind of different ones. I love Bill Evans in terms of jazz stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's just so good. I feel like I can't narrow it down. That's hard.
Well, he said favorite. So no.
Well, maybe I should say Jeff.
I was wondering. I was like, is Jeff looking for himself on this one? Is this a running joke?
Maybe that's the hidden thing. Yeah.
So we'll just go with Jeff.
Love it.
I feel like this one is reeks a little bit of
final answer.
Listen, he's a Bears fan. He probably needs something to pick him up. He probably needs a little help right now. Emotionally.
It is funny because when you walk into his studio, like there is no question where he is from. It's like Chicago, it's like Bears, it's like maps of the city. I'm like, are we in Nashville or Chicago right now?
And he's telling people, he tells people, and I could never be creative in that environment. I'm just here to tell you. I grew up in Wisconsin.
I know. Did you really? Oh my gosh. I love that.
We're mortal enemies.
Yeah. My dad grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, so I get it, He's a Cubs fan growing up, but he's been freed from that bondage. And
that's a good way to put it, too. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah. He's now a Denver fan, which all good people are. And it just, Yeah.
Nice.
That's right. You grew up in Colorado. Is that right?
Yes, Colorado Springs.
Oh, very cool.
Okay.
Yes, love it
So-
My
there.
sister went to school up there.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah, Colorado's a great place. If I didn't live here, I would live there
Mhm.
for sure.
I want to say like my grandmother at one point moved away from from Arkansas to Colorado Springs to like escape my grandfather because she was in love with him. And
Oh,
then like, I'm not going to marry because I'm like young and independent. And she moved back to Arkansas and here I am. So I think that was Colorado
wow.
Springs where she went to. So if not, I'm rolling with it today.
That's
That
great. I
sounds
mean,
right.
it's an escape. We're already saying all the good things about Colorado.
Exactly.
Love
So, she couldn't stay away from old Leonard Baxter. Anyway,
Leonard,
that's
let's go.
right. Yes. All right.
Lenny
So
B.
I was doing some research on you, and I saw I think on your TikTok or somewhere that back in 2023, you said you wrote over 100 songs.
Yes.
And so I'm curious, tell us like a little bit about your process. And really, you're out, you're playing shows. How do you work in over 100 songs in the middle of like playing shows and all the other stuff that an artist does?
Yeah. I mean, that was a crazy, crazy year. And I feel like in my artist world, I know it's different for different people, but my job kind of goes in phases. It seems
Mhm.
like I'm writing a lot and then I'm touring a lot and then I'm, maybe recording a lot and then I'm back to writing, So that was definitely my longest writing season.
Yeah.
But it was because I had just signed my deal. And so before that, I was recording and releasing independent stuff and it was going well. But I signed my deal at the very end of 2022. So 23 was like all about writing and all about writing with all the different people. So my label was setting me up with like everybody in town. So part of it was like, let's meet all the people and see who you work well with,
Yeah.
who you want to produce your stuff, like all that. And so we ended up being in the studio for a while, like 5 days a week, at least one song a day.
Mm-hmm.
You add that up and it gets to 100 pretty fast. But I think we wrote about
Wow.
130 songs for this record. Like,
Wow.
it was crazy. So I feel like I won't do the process like that again. I don't need to because now I like have my people who I know we work great together and I go back to them and maybe add a few people in, but like it'll never be that sort of exploratory of a time.
That was
again.
a shootout
Yeah.
phase, like you do for microphones in the studio. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah,
work with all these people, and we're going to find out which ones work the best for Natalie.
Yeah. And you have to do that. Like, and that was what I was thinking the whole time as we were doing it. I'm like, this is like the time to do this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't touring as much. Whereas in 2024, I was like only touring and I didn't write nearly as much that year. So it just goes in phases. I don't know.
How many dates, Natalie, do you normally do a year?
I think I'm at about 80 shows a year,
Mm-hmm.
which is honestly perfect. Like I don't want to do 150. Some people do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do 40 really, like that was a good benchmark. So we're trying to do about that many.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's
So-
doable.
You mentioned with the writing stuff being in the studio. Do you typically write in the studio? So are you like laying down like a demo as you do it, or what's that kind of look like?
Usually, yeah. I mean, I'm a piano player, so I love to start songs at the piano.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like a lot of the time, like I'll be at home I have a sweet little baby grand piano at home, right?
Nice.
So like that just inspires all the things.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'll like find progressions there or find melodies or whatever. And then I just have like an endless, voice memo collection and like notes collection. And I just kind of keep those. And so when I go into the studio to co-write, it's usually finishing something that I've started. Or playing off an idea that I've kind of started. And I feel like that goes better. Sometimes it works to pop into the studio and be like, what are you guys feeling? Like, I don't know, let's pull something out of the air.
Yeah.
But I feel like usually if I have an idea or some sort of a start, it just really helps me like vision wise as an artist. Like I already know like this is a thing that really feels like Natalie when I go to the studio and sometimes I'll be thinking about the people like this producer and this writer would really crush it.
Yeah.
Let's go in and finish that with these people. Like it just kind of depends, but I feel like all the song it starts at the piano, and that's gonna kind of always be true for me.
Yeah.
That's the way I always wrote. Like it was a riff or a melody or just some
Yeah.
sort of feeling that I created with the music. Then I would have to like figure out how to put words to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious about, and I've talked to this with some of my co-writers. So me being a lyricist, it's like notes, memo, or Evernote, and it's titles and stuff. So I can just see
Yes.
immediately title. How do you, when I work with melody people, they're like, I don't know, it's in here somewhere. It's under like Fast Jam 42.
Yeah.
Like, how do you
name the
label that
melody?
stuff?
That's totally it. It's like silly piano riff, haha. Where it's like slow James Bond melody, like it's like there's some defining factor, but I almost always have to scroll and like really focus and look.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, like, does naming the melody actually work? To where you're like,
No,
oh, I remember exactly what that was. No, it just kind of it sounds like you're descriptive
not
in the
really.
naming of the melody. So you're
Yeah.
like, I feel like we're gonna write a slow song today. Let me see what I have
Right.
in my slow
Right.
song folder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do feel like it might be a little bit different for me because I feel like if I have a melody, I usually have some sort of lyric attached to it in my head, like they kind of come together.
Mm-hmm.
So usually if I have a melody, it's like this phrase is going to end with the title, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
So I can usually name it by that. Like they're not a lyric and a melody. If they come to me together, they're inseparable after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's just like divine intervention, isn't it? It's just like when the lyric comes with the melody, you're like,
I'm like, and that's how I know God
that's what I was
exists.
told to sing.
Yeah. Does that usually come with a concept, or are you like, wow, this word sounds great here, but I don't know what that means?
Yeah. Oh, it's totally that sometimes. I feel like it could be either.
Mhm.
It's way better when it's the concept,
Right.
Yeah.
like, hey, that is the title. And I'm so happy because we can build around that. But if it's just like a line from the second verse, you're
Mhm.
like, but that's the thing. I usually know where it goes, I'm
Mhm.
like, that feels like the bridge or that feels like whatever.
Yeah,
I kind of have a sense of that, but gosh, songwriting is mysterious. I don't know.
it is.
Yeah.
I've
Isn't
had
it?
plenty of rides where, someone comes in, they have a melody, and they're like, this sings really well here. Chocolate is a vitamin. We're like, okay, that's our hook. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Go.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes me feel something.
And then you're the guy who has to figure out what that means.
Yes. So, which is actually fun and leads to some really surprising things that I wouldn't have come up with.
Does it?
Yeah. We do a whole segment on the show, like every other Friday, called Song Title Challenge, where
Nice.
listeners send in a title and Johnny goes through them. He curates them, and we bring a guest like yourself or Pardo or whoever on,
Love it.
and then he'll spring it on us. We go, okay, what's that about? And then we just brainstorm for like 20 minutes.
That's crazy.
So we're all about that life here.
Now, are you curating them to like find the weirdest ones?
No, I'm curating them to find a decent title.
You're like,
I mean, sometimes you just, I really, if you put a gun to my head, I could not describe to you intelligently what makes a viable title and what doesn't make a viable title, other than like, I just like, okay, that just doesn't work for me. But then sometimes it'll be just this weird word
yeah,
or something, or just a singular word. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you never know where this will go,
yeah,
and sometimes they hit right. And sometimes, the writer's like, well, this would be the guest in the pod would be like, this would be the part. I'm like, well, let's go to lunch.
yeah.
Or what else you got? So
Love
sometimes
that.
it's a fail, but that's
Yeah.
part of the challenge of it, I think, which is a good exercise to plow through that, because that's it. We can't go to lunch. There is no other title that we're going to do.
That's why it's a challenge. Yeah.
We're going to do this. And then, surprisingly, I remember one specific episode where it was like super cliche.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And we're all like, wah, wah, all right. We put on our work boots and went out with the shovels and started digging that trench.
Yeah.
And then like 3/4 of the way through, somebody went, wait a second. What if it was like this? Like, oh, now all of a sudden it's just a totally different meaning and it's cool, And
Flip
so,
it.
Yeah, and so there's stuff in there,
Yeah.
which is interesting. And I just thought of something, Brent, when you said like, chocolate is a vitamin.
Yeah.
This is what feels
Which
good to
I've
Which
me.
written
is a
that.
great title,
Yeah,
actually.
and I'm just thinking like, wow, in country and in I'm not as well versed in CCM, but I would guess CCM because I feel like the 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 gene pool is deep there when it comes to songwriting.
Mhm.
There's guardrails, and you got to somehow make it make sense. And I
Yeah.
think of
Yes.
like some of my favorite as a rock guy, some of my favorite artists that were like chocolate is a vitamin doesn't have to mean a damn thing. Like we
So
can
true.
Right.
it's
True.
just got to make you feel something. I think of
Yeah.
Andrew Wood from Mother Love Bone or David Bowie, and they
Mhm.
just have these ethereal sort of lyrics, and it's almost like poetry, and it doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to make sense as long as
Just
it
has to
makes you
sound
feel
cool.
something. Yeah. So isn't that interesting too? Just like on a and I guess sometimes you can get away with that in country, right? I mean, put
A
a
little
honkin' on it.
bit, a little bit. Tim McGraw's gone out there a little bit more. It depends on like how mainstream country. But I would think, especially like for CCM, it's about clarity. It's about the message. The
Yeah.
message is what defines CCM, right? Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's defined not by the style of music,
Yep.
it's the message. And so
Yeah.
therefore, if you're not clear on your message, that's kind of the whole point.
Right.
In
Yeah.
general, I mean, there are exceptions to
And
everything, I
country
guess, but
too, is we really does have to kind of define. You can't really get away with a country song like "Susu Studio," from Phil Collins, right?
Oh, Phil. Yes.
I mean, you
Love
know what I
it.
mean? Though it's like,
Yes.
yeah,
it's
it'd
like,
be
and there's an art to that too, which is good. And I needed a little bit more of that back in my day. I could have
Yeah,
used a
for
dose
sure.
of Brent Baxter back in my day.
I just didn't know you then, Johnny.
For sure. Yeah, I do. I think that's interesting in CCM, especially because it's like you really can't slack on the lyric in terms
Mhm.
of like, yeah, it has to make sense, but also be creative, and you have to get all those elements in there. But I think people people more easily slack on the music side,
Mm.
and because the lyric matters so much, and I'm just like I'm in this space where I'm like, okay, how come we have to give up either one?
Amen.
Like both
Yeah.
of them should be top of the line. Like we have this access to like so much creativity, and
Mhm.
like we should use it in every way. Like neither one has to suffer, So
Yeah.
That's called craftsmanship.
we're
Thank you
trying to
very
craft a
much for
song. We
having that.
are.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Yes.
world thanks you for that.
Trying. Yeah.
Because there are too many people that are like, no, that's good enough. Let's just roll on. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that word rhymes. Let's get on to the next
I've
thing.
already written this is song number 120 for the year, so let's just wrap this
You've
up and
written a
go.
lot, No,
Yeah.
it's true. And that's why, I mean, it is fun for me sometimes to like write pop stuff. I
Mhm.
write for other artists sometimes, and it's like, this can just be like a la 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 la, everybody, like it
Yeah.
just like, it's fun, and I think there's such a place for that too. So I like doing both.
Yeah, there's much less, we're going to get a letter about this line in pop
Right.
music.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to call the radio station and have theological issues with the
Totally.
la-las in the second verse. That probably doesn't
The,
happen in
the like
pop music.
YouTube comments, Yeah.
Now, so we've got friends and people, artists that have been on the podcast who started out in CCM and left because they found it too restrictive or whatever. Maybe some of
Yes.
that was intolerable. So, like as a real, like legit solid CCM artist, do you still get pushback? I mean, do you get like front row Baptist haters that are like,
Oh yeah,
you're
for
the
sure.
devil because you said this one word or something like that?
Well, I mean, and I feel like that is actually something that pushes my craftsmanship, because it's like I studied theology in college, and so
Mhm.
I've wanted to make sure that my songs are like very theologically accurate.
Yeah,
I think we need that. Like people are listening to sometimes a lot more songs than sermons these
yeah,
days. Like they're going to get their theology from songs sometimes. So like
for sure.
I
Songs to sermon, more songs than sermons. That's a
Mhm.
that's
I
a
mean they
line.
are.
That's
Yeah,
something right there.
yeah.
That just that hit me. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I
they
like
are. So
that.
like we got to take that opportunity, to
Mhm.
not just be talking about whatever, but for it to be solid and have depth lyrically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a challenge for me too, because I write a lot of upbeat songs. Like,
Yes.
and I think in those upbeat songs, it can be like, you know, that could have easily been a cheesy lyric, but if you look into it, like there's some depth there. And so, yeah, so I've wanted to keep that solid. And I think that that helps, you know, people not come after me as much lyrically, because it's like, it's solid, you know?
Yeah.
But I just want to.
Go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
no, I just like, I do want to just raise the bar in terms of musicality and Christian music too. And I think a lot of people have left because they've felt, restricted in terms of musicianship. And I'm just like, why? Like the reason that it's not growing is because great musicians are
Mm-hmm.
leaving. Like, actually, if we all tried to pour into this, like
Mm-hmm.
it would grow, like it would get a lot better. So I'm
That's
working
interesting. So is there, and I'm just curious on this, like, do you find yourself, um, being the recipient, let's say, of a potential debate that you maybe engage, maybe you don't engage with that person, based on like an interpretation
Yeah,
of something? Do you know what I mean?
sometimes.
Where they're just like, no, this is wrong, and you're like, well, theology major in college here,
Yeah.
that's accurate, you know. And
Yeah,
but they're like, no, but this is what he meant, or this is what he meant, or you
sure.
know, does
Sure.
that happen, or
I mean, that doesn't happen a ton. I feel like, you know, in those cases where people might be like, this is wrong. I mean, I am so human and could be wrong, you know, like that is totally potential. Or there's multiple, you know, interpretations of something or whatever. I feel like we haven't hit that roadblock as much of like debates about that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But even Church Kids has been an interesting one
Yeah.
because, like, you know, this lyric is about people growing up in the church and
Mm-hmm.
like youth group and deciding to stick around in the church, whatever. And some people are like, this is my story, this is amazing, like I love this. And
Uh-oh.
then some people are
Yep.
like, well, I'm not a church kid, so I don't relate to this at all. And so it's more of a like relating thing. And I have engaged with some of those and been like, yeah, but maybe your kids will be church kids, you know,
Oh
or
yeah.
maybe whatever. And so we get more stuff like that. I feel like that it's like, I don't relate to this. And
Yeah.
to me, it's like, in some level, everyone can relate to this or just appreciate the story of somebody else. That's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we do that in country songs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Someone
But
else's story and it's not yours and it's fine. But somehow it's different. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I can relate to it because I mean,
Yeah.
I was blessed to grow up in church. And I also liked how y'all put this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine in there.
Yes.
You know, a little throwback to one of the, you know, church kid song. So
Kids song.
Mm.
Yeah.
well done. Well done.
Thanks.
You know, something just occurred to me. I don't know why this just hit me now. I mean, we've had so many wonderful CCM artists on the show, but and Brent, you've been my co-host since the beginning. What I always admire from artists, in part of my job, like in development and everything like that, is to get an artist out of their own way. You know, to
Yeah.
get them
Yeah.
to be vulnerable, right? To get them to really just put it out there and be vulnerable. That is hard enough, right?
Yeah.
And to have somebody, you know, any kind of rejection, right? Any kind of negativity, somebody that doesn't like your song, it hurts. But then on top of that, you're talking about something that's, you know, even more passionate to you than your baby, than your song, right? Which is your faith, and to have somebody, you know, that's like a double. It's like
Totally.
2 bullets with 1 trigger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's gotta be hard. That just hit me. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It's more difficult to be a CCM artist, I think, than it is to be a regular artist because of that. You're like,
It's
not
weird.
only are you slagging on my song, but like you're telling me I don't understand.
I'm going to hell because
or my intention, and that's got to be like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That would piss me off. I couldn't hang in that environment. God bless you.
It's a lot. Yeah, I mean,
Who's that Winter Jam? He came off the stage as somebody throwing punches. Yeah, can't have that.
I don't know. No, I mean it's you know, being an artist in general is like you kind of experience like very polar opposites of what people say. Either they love and adore everything you do, and like you get a lot of, you know, encouragement for sure. And then you also get a lot of criticism. So I feel like we don't get anything in the middle, you know. It's like,
and if you don't, you're not doing it right. Like, you know, what you just described speaks volumes as to, you know, how much impact you have.
Yeah.
As an artist.
And I love it. Like when people kind of argue in the comments or whatever. Like, first of all, maybe something's getting worked out and you're gaining some good ideas here. But also, you know, my friend said this the other day. She's like, the haters are like helping my songs go viral. And I was like, listen,
I was going to say,
what's actually really interesting, like the song's getting out to more people because you're engaging in this. So like, I actually will take it. Yeah.
I've had a number of over the last decade of artists that were young, really young.
Yeah.
You know, 12, 13, 14, kind of doing. So mom and dad are handling the socials. And I always have to have that conversation with them there, and they're deleting the negative stuff. And I'm like, no, leave it there. Let it go. You know, like because that first of all, you're right. It's just a track. I mean, first of all, it throttles the algorithm, right? But second of all, when somebody sees that negative comment on top, they may be clicking on that video for the wrong reason, right? To go and see a train wreck. But then you're being heard, and just as many times, I mean, people are like, wait a second.
Yeah.
You know, she can sing like this. And they're going to all of a sudden defend it because they have a different feeling about it. So it's beautiful like that. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. And it's happened a lot, like in what we're doing, that people will find a song, like you're saying, for the wrong reason, or they click on it for whatever reason, or they click on it because they're just interested in what's happening musically. But then they go, oh, these ideas are pretty cool. And like, we've seen people come to Jesus because of doing that. So
that's great.
Like it matters. We see that, you know.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Jesus himself wasn't scared of controversy. So it comes with the territory, right?
It comes with the territory for sure. And it helps that, like, you know, people can dog on my song all they want or whatever. But like, if they're dogging on Jesus, like they're really not offending him, you know?
Yeah.
They can't actually like take whatever, you know?
Yeah.
He's not offended by that. So that's good.
I got you.
How do you market your record? Like what's some of your strategies if you want to kind of share them?
Gosh,
I'd love to hear those.
Johnny's a marketing guy, so this is
you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're in such a time in music where you want to try everything. Like there are so many avenues now. And like for me, social media has been huge. And like I know it's a gamble. I know it feels like, you know, you're not getting support sometimes for a long time, and then maybe something will pop up and you just don't know. But like for me, it's been such a worthwhile gamble, you know, to just be kind of consistent on socials. So that's a free marketing thing that we do. But then, you know, we've partnered with radio on these last couple songs, and that's been really new for me. Like I just haven't done that. I didn't do that as an independent artist. So partnering with radio and like trying to get the songs out there that way is really interesting. And when you're doing something different in Christian, it gets really interesting. So, but it's been fun to like see the stations that are like in and the people that love the song so much. And so we're doing that. And then, you know, my label's awesome, and they do all the press and all the other stuff. So we're trying everything we can.
What's consistent mean for you on social media?
I started posting on TikTok in 2020, and I didn't want to do it at all. I was like, I'm already overwhelmed with Instagram, you know, and Facebook and whatever else, YouTube. But I was like, okay, I gotta do this in a way that's like sustainable to me for a long time. Like if I were to do this for the rest of my career, how much can I like physically do this? Because they were saying at the time, like, you should be posting 3 times a day if you want the algorithm to like you, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that's not possible for people who it's not their entire job. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it is still my job to make music. So, so I feel like that's been interesting, just kind of figuring out a schedule for that. So to me, like I make one like high quality video at the piano once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I post that once a week. And my goal has always been like one really high quality thing once a week and then whatever else comes up. And that has slowly but surely really grown my following just because of the consistency, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes people try to post every day and kind of fall off of that.
Yeah.
And that's actually worse than posting less but consistently, you know.
Yeah. Do you
So,
do the editing too?
yes, I do the editing for those videos because they're
Mhm.
like usually I have something in my head and I like want to get that out.
Like
But
you creatively on as far as the video medium is concerned, you've
yeah,
got something that you want to do that
usually
involves the
yeah.
piano and involves the music, but there's a visual thing that you're incorporating.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
and it's even that has been kind of cool because I just set up my phone and play one of the songs that I'm writing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the most interesting thing to people. And it's just super organic. And I don't like, you know, I don't throw it in Logic and do a whole thing. I don't do any of that. I just try to make it really, excuse me, organic. And people have loved that more than anything. I just think they want, you know, they want something chill. They want something that like is genuine on
Mm-hmm.
social media.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've really seen that work. So it's also sustainable in that way for me. Like I don't have to do a ton of editing, but I do have to put lyrics on screen and, you know, copy and splice things and whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
What
it's
tool do you prefer to use for
what'd
a
you say?
listener? What editing tool do you prefer to use for a
You know
listener?
what? I actually love to edit in TikTok,
Okay.
which is really interesting. If I'm like splicing together something else, I do just use iMovie. I've tried other things, but it's just so fast to me
Yeah.
and it's all that I need right now.
Yeah.
But I love to edit in TikTok. I don't like to edit in Instagram. Like there's no other platform to me that's as like that does what I want, kind of like TikTok does. So it's been interesting.
Fascinating. And I made
Yeah.
for somebody just like a boatload of video content. Like I made miracles happen for years in iMovie. Like it,
For
and
real.
and then I outgrew it. Like then like the sophistication of the stuff we needed to create, like just
Yeah.
forced the hand of something more. But I mean, there's some fantastic. You know, TikTok's got a great editing platform. CapCut's pretty cool too. There's some
Yeah.
it's really good. Um, Tools for people to use that are user friendly
Yeah.
and uh, you know I bring this up because Brent and I are always trying to encourage artists to realize like this is part of your job description now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the excuse
Oh,
of I don't have a budget to get a video editor, so I'm not going to create content
no, dude.
is not. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
try telling your boss at McDonald's like you don't have a car, so you're not coming into work, but you
Nope.
still want to get paid. Okay, like that's
Right.
Right.
not gonna fly.
That's actually a great analogy. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And like I now, you know, I'm quick to say if something is like above my level, you know, above my skill
Mm-hmm.
level. I'll
Mhm.
like reach out to my team and be like, "Hey, you need to do this in something that's not iMovie." Okay, like
And
you know, so
you're blessed to have that
I'm
infrastructure,
blessed to
you
have
know?
that now, but I definitely didn't wait for that to start, you know, and
Mm.
and I don't think it has to be complicated for you to start something that people can really connect to. So,
No, like, real quick question, did you find, like, when you first were forced with the epiphany of, I mean, for lack of a better word, epiphany, but the idea that I'm gonna have to start doing video content, right? Like,
mhm.
how did you feel at that moment, right? And then was there somewhere along that journey where you did you discover is it a hassle for you or did you just find it to be once you got past the learning phase and you could create as quick as you as you think? Did it become a fun itch to scratch for you?
Yeah, it for sure did. But at the beginning, it's terrible. It's like, I have a friend. Do you guys know Emily Wise Band? Do you ever
I
ride
know
with
who
her?
she is. I've never worked with her, but yeah.
She's amazing. She had a whole thing when TikTok first came out, and she went on social media and she was like, guys, I feel like, I am not a video maker. I'm just a music maker. She's like, it's like this. It's like, I'm just a cheese maker, and they want me to make meat. And I don't make meat. I make cheese, And now you're telling me I have to make good meat in order for people to buy my cheese? I don't want to do that. And I just felt that. I was like, listen, now, because it's terrible. It's like I have to learn another skill set and actually be very good at it. Like, I have to learn to be a video editor and a marketing, savant.
And a cinematographer and a director of photography and a director and the actor and the and all of it. Yeah. And the showrunner. You got to put it together.
That's totally why I got into this business. That is
totally why I started singing. Yeah.
This is my pathway to making more video content.
It's like, no. So at first it's overwhelming because you're like, not only do I have to do all this, but I have to be awesome for people to even listen to my music. Like, that sounds just like a very bad plan. But I mean, there I think is a point for all of us where you realize that it is the avenue these days. Like you can try to do it other ways, but really I think the quickest way to get your music out there now is through social media. And it's like, so at first, you try stuff and you fail miserably and nobody watches it and you're sad that you spent 3 hours editing your little TikTok. But then, you have to be consistent at it for a long time. And I remind myself that even today, when I start anything new and it doesn't work on day 3, girl, it took you like a year on TikTok, you gotta build that. And I think it took me like 30 videos posting once a week to like see anything go well on TikTok. So, but then
I love you for saying this. Like, my God. Okay, I said 20. I've been saying 20. I'm going to up it to 30 now.
It was 30 for me. I think one might've gone okay at like 20, but really like, 1 million views will change your life. Like it's true, and I didn't
it makes the juice worth the squeeze when all of a sudden you go through all that work and then one hits and you're like, I like this. Like, this is not all the rumors were not true. Like, this can be fun.
Totally.
Because it's a way, what you figured out how to do was in the same way that, guess what? Your first song sucked too. That you ever wrote, right? And 50 songs later, because you just were so interested in scratching that itch, you started to get better at it, and then it started to have an impact. And that was when then your whatever our childish little fantasy that sort of gets us to the door to begin with becomes like a real craft thing where we're just now, I really, really like this. And it's the same with the video stuff, and you just got to plow through it. And I love that. I wish, there's just no way, there's no way that I can see for an artist to climb without having this skill set. And even if money's no object and you're a trust fund baby, it's like it would be silly to spend money on this because it really has to be a part of your voice. It has to be, I turn down jobs all the time from people that are like coming in and throwing money at me. Like, we want you to create the social media. We're going to go on vacation. When we come back, we want to be stars. It's like, no, you can pay me all you want, but unless that artist is in front of the damn camera, it's not going to work.
Right.
Not going to work.
It's true.
I think artists are, the younger they are, the more that's becoming natural. So my son, Ozzy, he's 13. This past year, he just self-published his first novella. So, so I'm proud, dad. And so he started a YouTube channel, a couple months ago, like to start kind of, because we talk a lot. Dad's in the creative space. I'm like, yeah, start building your audience. Read whatever. So he starts doing this stuff, and he was updating me this morning. He finally had one that for him is like blowing up. It's got like 700 views on YouTube.
Nice.
He's like, I'm up to like 21 subscribers, and everything else is like, maybe a couple hundred, 20, 40, whatever. And then he tapped into something like responding to like some trend. And he's like, doing drawings and stuff on there, whatever. And it's kid stuff. And he's like, oh my gosh. Okay, for my next one, and he's starting to see that, I'm like, okay, Daddy's going to help you get your lead magnet together. We're going to start your email list.
Love it.
Yeah.
So,
like what I was trying to say before I realized I didn't finish the thought was like, you learn how to communicate by writing a song,
mm-hmm.
and how to elicit an emotion, and how to, get a response from somebody that you intended to get, right? So which means that information was received. And everybody's knee-jerk reaction, all artists' knee-jerk reaction to marketing is icky, gross, salesman. I don't do that very well. But it's communication,
mm-hmm.
And when you are able to communicate to somebody who doesn't know you from a can of paint in a manner that gets them to give you a listen, to give you a shot, and then they like it and it works, and a bunch of people hit, then that is like a similar satisfaction to a similar dopamine hit, a similar validation, right? Or whatever it is that makes us want to write another song and go out on tour and be in this like ridiculous business. I mean, it's like that. And you're like, oh, this is really awesome,
Yeah. And it is awesome. I do feel like, though, you have to find a way that it works for you, because if it's like, if you're trying to be something that you're not for an extended period of time, like it's going to burn you out and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And also people won't connect with that. So I just felt like, what's a way that I can show who I am and, do this in a way that is sustainable for me and not just like ride the, roller coaster of what could be. Like, it's just, so I think it's individual to the artist too, which helped me a lot. It's like, if I'm being who I'm not on social media, then I'm doing it wrong.
Right.
Like, it might feel weird at the beginning that you have to like make these videos and put yourself out there, for sure. But when you find your thing, that's what like gets people in, when you find something that's different, that's what people like. So it's hard, but necessary.
And it's only through the body of work, though, that you can find that, it's not. And you mentioned something before, which we've just reiterated ad nauseum on the pod. And that is like, what's beautiful about the whole social media thing is like, when you screw it up, and you're going to screw it up in the beginning, you're going to suck at it. It's anonymous.
Yeah.
Because that means nobody saw it.
Nobody saw it.
So you get over in a dark corner with nobody watching. You're frustrated personally because it's not getting the traction that you want, but at the same time, everybody's not going, like it's not that, it's so until you hit it, then it's like boom, and you get there. But it took you 30 videos. Like that's what an amazing amount of resolve that you had.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like in the beginning, like nobody sees it, and if you don't like it later, you can delete it.
Yeah.
Like it is okay. If that thing isn't your artistry anymore, that is so fine. But I mean, it is mind-boggling to me that the best marketing tool right now is free. Like, it's just, it doesn't cost money. It takes your time.
Yeah.
Which I guess time is money, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
but you got to invest that time in it. And there it is. Like, you don't need anybody's permission to go and get that audience. And it's giving artists the ability to finally prevail and be at the top of the food chain, as opposed to the label being at the top of the food chain. I mean, there's no greater beacon than Taylor Swift on that. I mean, the first time in the world that the head of the biggest record label on the planet's got his hat in his hand begging Taylor, can you please also pull your music off of TikTok because we're in protest and solidarity with the rest of your compadres on this label? It's a week before my release. Sorry, no.
It's so
Don't
awesome.
give me a bad American. But I'm like,
so awesome.
Hercules.
I
There
love
it is.
it.
She owns the traffic. Nice.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was, even if you're not at the Taylor Swift level and you're just like finding a way to make a living for social media,
Yes.
and that was actually super freeing for me because I had been posting for like about 2 years, and then I started getting people reaching out about playing shows, and so then all of a sudden I had a career where I was making a living.
That's awesome.
Before I had a label.
Mhm.
It was like,
So your work on social media was the pathway to your deal.
yeah.
Hello.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, my label had found me before all that. And then COVID kind of slowed everything down,
Mhm.
but by the time we started talking again, it was like, I felt so blessed. I'm like, I'm getting to do this right out of college, and like, this is my job, and I'm not like desperate for like a label partnership.
Yeah.
I would be doing a label partnership because I want your team,
We call that leverage.
Love it.
That's exactly what this is about. That's so perfect. Yeah. They need you more than you need them. And you get to say, like, wait a second. What are you going to do for me where I'm going to let you stick your hand that far down in my pocket?
Right.
Yeah.
I've already got this going on.
It is awesome. But it's true still that the time you spend is the payment for it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't move to Nashville and get discovered overnight.
Yeah.
Right. Some people think that you do, and that's why some people move here.
Mhm.
But I mean, in reality, it took me like at least 5 years of being here to see that come to fruition. So
Yeah.
And some people think it's talent too, but
Yeah.
that's 10% of it,
an element.
I mean,
Yeah.
one of the things that you said that hit me right between the eyes, which you may be giving me a different way to explain this to other artists, is, I had to find something that worked for me. Like when you're talking about the video content, I had to represent me. But before you can do that, you have to know who me is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that is, okay, I can sing the phone book and make you cry. That's great. But have you figured out who you are yet?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're a person with amazing talent, but as an
Mhm.
artist, what do you stand for? What is your lane? Where's your sweet spot?
Yeah.
Do you really know who you are? And until you can do that, you're not going to find it on,
Yeah.
social media.
Gosh,
So
and that takes time too.
and
It's
work,
not
and just a body of work. You have to get
you have
back.
to write 100 songs sometimes.
Yes, exactly. Like okay, let me ask you this. First artist that you remember seeing that just turned you on, flipped the switch on, and you're like,
Mm.
I want to do that. What
Yeah.
age were you and who was the artist?
I mean, yeah, like I grew up going to Christian concerts, so
Mhm.
it was like Stephen Curtis Chapman. I thought it was so cool how he like sat with a guitar and people threw out requests and he could remember songs from 10 albums ago,
Yeah.
or like I remember Lauren Daigle standing in her like Christmas dress singing her Christmas album, and all those moments being like almost kind of weird in my mind. Like, I think I'm supposed to do that,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, I think,
You're like, that's what I'm supposed to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
It
I
was
don't know.
Neil Diamond for me. My parents took me to a Neil Diamond concert in Alpine
Epic.
Valley, and I'd listened to that Hot August Night record so many times. I knew every song, and I just remember he walked out on stage, and I'm like, I'm going to do that. Like that's
100%.
what I'm going to do. Like I knew that's where I was going. I knew
Yeah.
that's where I was headed. And then the next step is we emulate, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We mimic, and we're just trying to get close to that. And only through enough of mimicking do you get bored with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you're like, well, now I gotta do something for me. And then it's that journey for me. And then a bunch more work. And you
Yeah.
find out who me is.
Totally.
And now you've got that artist inside you, like centered,
Yeah.
plus the talent.
Right.
And now it's a force to be reckoned with that people are going to react. They're going to stand up and salute. They're going to
Totally.
follow.
Yeah. I mean, music school was so great for me with
Mhm.
that. It was a lot of like direct mimicking. Like, we're going to play like this person or play like this person. And you kind of realize along the way, hey, that piece of it kind of felt like me. Hey, this piece of this, I felt like myself when I was doing that, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then you piece it together and find your own thing. And for me, a lot of finding who I am too was like going back to what like the music I loved as a kid, what like lit that spark for me originally. And like, you know, the things that you're like, ooh, like you didn't know at the time, but it was like making you into who you are. So, I mean, it takes a long time, I think, to find something that is just you and that is actually your thing and your niche and whatever. But you got to give it that time because that's the thing that people are going to be drawn to because you're being so unapologetically yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great place to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I love that. I love, and at the end of the day, like, all that time that you're waiting, you never stopped working. You know,
true.
you never stopped exercising that muscle and doing it, and that's the only way you get to it. So,
Yeah, it's worth it.
where can our listeners find you, Natalie?
Anywhere you listen to music, anywhere you do the social media, at Natalie Layne Music. Layne with an Layne. Natalie Layne.
Layne, like Layne Staley, but Natalie.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's awesome, guys. That brings us to the end of another Killer Climb episode. This podcast exists because we want you to win, so keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.
Who ride a greyhound all night long? Stay